we are back with another review. There's a bit of downtime on Emerald right now, so I thought I might as well make one. Here we go. Today, since we've already done carbines, which are available to Light Assault and Engineer, we've already done assault rifles. I said I was going to do LMGs. Well, I'm a fucking liar, and I've decided I'm going to reorganize that into a heavy assault max video. Today we're going to be looking at all the infiltrator weapons simply because they're just all on the class, on one class. So this is going to include multiple varieties of weapons. This will include the sniper rifles, the scout rifles, and SMGs available to the TR, and it will include the battle rifle, of which I do have the nice shiny Araxium version. It's very nice, very, very nice. So, let's get started. This is probably going to be one of the longer videos, so I want to click through to the one that you're going to want to see. I'm too lazy to put timestamps, sorry boys. The 99 SV. This is your stock sniper rifle for TR. The VS get a identical equivalent in the XM98 as their starter, and the VS get the equivalent of the M77B as their starter. But this is the starter for TR. You get the ballistics computer by default. This is a really strong attachment, in my opinion, and this actually makes the weapon somewhat more viable right now. You have optics available 7, 8, 10, and 12. 7, 8, 10, and 12 are available on all the sniper rifles, I do believe. And it's got available a suppressor. Don't suppress this weapon. Don't suppress any sniper rifle. It's got a forward grip. That used to be the meta attachment if you fucking wanted to choose this gun, which wasn't a meta choice, but with the ballistics computer it does make it a little more viable. Now I'd like to say this before we begin this video. Sniping in PlanetSide is extremely niche, and getting your 5 kills an hour by terminal camping is not helping your team. So if you're going to be a competitive, more aggressive sniper where you're, intra-base sniping, sniping within the base, and you're not trying to dink retards from 2 kilometers away with your quick shots, quick scope headshots, all that gay shit, then use a sniper rifle if it's going to be useful. Don't, oh, hey buddy, Doom Dev. It's weird. Don't be doing this where it's just, oh my god, get out of my fucking bus, you dumbass. Don't use this if it's just gonna be a, I'm gonna sit here and get 5 kills an hour. So anyway, I'm sorry. Thought I'd go over that. So it does 400 at 10 and it does 334 at 85, meaning that you will not one headshot kill at all. And you're gonna have to do a second follow-up shot. However, it does do 3 body shot kills at any range, so that is kind of nice, assuming the target does not have nano Eve. And it fires at 231 RPM, so here is the maximum rate of fire you can achieve. As you can see, the cone of fire values get pretty bad after the second shot. You don't want to be doing rapid, follow-up shots like that. You want to be pacing them a little bit better. Like, when the scope resets, that's when you want to pull your trigger. You don't want to do, you want to keep shooting. You don't want to keep fucking, shooting as fast as you can with this gun. You want to let the scope reset for even a fraction of a second, and you're good. Moving on to the battle rifle, the AMR-66. There's only one real way that's viable to run this, and that's forward grip and compensator, because this is a aim weapon. I use a 2x for that extra optic power, but you can run a 1x. You can even run a 3x, 4x if you want to. HVA, I personally don't run it, but it's useful. And you actually get free high velocity ammo on the Araxium version, but it's up to you. Personally, 600 meters is more than enough for me, and I don't want to decrease the 250 damage by 2 meters at all, because that's a nice 2 headshot kill range. How to run this weapon. If you get jumped with this weapon in close range, there is a 50-50 chance that you are fucked. At that point, you need to basically pull the trigger as fast as you fucking can with hipfire and not even bother to aim. If they are right on top of you with an automatic weapon, you just need to pray to RNGesus basically and hope to God that you get the good values for you to survive. This weapon is not a close-range weapon in the slightest. It's a mid-range weapon. Your ideal engagement is somewhere where the head perfectly fits your optic, somewhere like right here. Outside the maximum damage range of most automatics, yet inside of the minimum damage range. That is where this thing will shine, because you can be more accurate than your enemy with moving, while firing, and just while bursting. And you can deliver more damage per shot. A lot of people bypass the AMR and the faction equivalents because it's difficult to use. Well, that's the name of the game with these weapons. They reward pinpoint accuracy and such, and it's going to take a little bit of a learning curve for you to get going. It took me at least 300 kills on the AMR before I felt even somewhere comfortable doing this, you know, consistently. And then after that, it just kind of became second nature. You'll eventually learn the recoil pattern, you'll learn how to use it, but it is going to take you a hot minute. This is kind of the ultimate of the aim carbine playstyle, or aimed playstyle. If you ADS a lot, you will love this gun. I personally ADS a lot, and I really like this gun. I haven't used it in a while, but I used it enough, and I used all the scout rifles enough to get the DMR 99. It is available on heavy too, which does make it kind of nice. I probably should have thrown it in that well, I'll cover it in that video too, but it is available on heavy assault too, which does make it even more viable with the overshield. The overshield and the cloak make it very strong. Cloak makes anything strong, but the overshield also makes it strong too. The DMR 99 is an AMR 66 with better fall-off characteristics, free high-velocity ammo, and 2 extra rounds in the magazine for TR. The other factions get something different, I believe. I think the Warden gets, I forget what the NC's one is called. The Warden is the default one, but I think the Araxium Warden gets something crazy like 700 meters a second velocity. So at 650 to 700 meters a second, I wouldn't be screaming NCOP. 50 meters a second on this weapon is not going to make or break the gun. The bullets already go extremely fast. 650 is already more, I think, than what high velocity will give you, I'm pretty sure. But I'd have to do the numbers again. But that 2 extra bullets does come in handy in a pinch, and you do have worse hip fire values on the DMR 99, but again, you're going to be spam hip firing only if you come in contact with someone super close, but the aim values are identical at that point, and the weapon, in my opinion, is just better. The DMR 99 is one of the few Araxium versions that is, in my opinion, a direct upgrade. So, moving on to the HSR-1. The HSR-1 is 255 RPM with 334 max damage at 15, which is 3 shots to kill, and 280 at 75. 570 meters a second muzzle velocity is a little low for this category, you'll see. Well, it's actually kind of average now that I think about it. But it does reload in 2 and 2.4. 12 bullets in the magazine. Decent hip fire, good aim. This is the Empire-specific version of the Vandal, which we'll get into here in a minute on why I think it's a bad thing to be the Empire-specific version of the Vandal, because it's just a shittier Vandal, dude. I mean, you lose muzzle velocity on the Vandal, but you gain 0.75 and you gain extra bullets. This thing has 0.5 aim 80s, and it has, only 12 bullets in the magazine, and at that point, the other 2 values are identical. The aim values are identical, and the Vandal actually has better hip fire. I mean, at the cost of what, 50 meters a second velocity and some reload speed, if you're playing Infiltrator smart at all, that reload speed is negligible. That's an extra second. You're not going to be like in a pinch with this weapon, like, oh god, gotta reload, very often if you're playing smart. And already you can hear the classic TR very low sound, the plank, to indicate that you're almost out of ammo. In my opinion, I'd bypass this weapon. I did it just because I did the Vandal, and I don't think there were other options at the time. I'd have to double check. The directive on this one is very limiting, unfortunately. So let's go to weapons, scout rifles. Yeah, you have to do this unless you want to buy the NS30 black or the NS30 gold. You have to do it, unfortunately. This weapon, in my opinion, is a straight downgrade to the Vandal. However, if you get used to it and then do the Vandal afterwards, using the Vandal is like night and day compared to this thing. My verdict, I'm not going to cover it for very long because I do not recommend using it at all. If you are considering using this kind of damage profile on a weapon, just go straight to the Vandal. It's almost a direct upgrade, in my opinion, for what matters. The KSR-35 is an unscoped version of the stock 99 SV with slower muzzle velocity and a 135x zoom, which is the iron sight, your standard iron sight zoom. No suppressor, forward grip, and I use a 2x. You can also use a 1x. Let me just use a 1x for demonstration purposes. Where's my cross? There it is. All right, I don't have to buy it, and I'm not gonna ever use this gun again. So the scope, unfortunately, the scope in time is still extremely brutal. As you can see, it's as slow as the sniper rifles are. I'm pretty sure that's just a characteristic of the class of weaponry. However, once you scope in and once you're hard scoping, this is a hard scoper's weapon, by the way, you are gonna do pretty nice damage. You're going to do 3-shot body shots at every range. And if you don't mind that, then I think this weapon can be usable. And other than that, there's not much to say about it over the KSR-35. It's just an unscoped, it's just an unscoped 99 SB. If you like the 99 SB and want to take the scope off of it, buy the KSR-35. But other than that, I don't think it's really useful even for the directive, because if we go to the directive really quick, we'll go there again. Sniper rifles, you have plenty to choose from. The Rams 50 is easy. If you're going to do the sniper rifle and you want the Bighorn, I do not have the Bighorn yet, unfortunately. That's probably going to be my next big thing. The Rams 50, the M77, the SR7, that's 3 right there. And then you can do the Trap, that's the 4th one, and you can do the SAS-R. You know, the Trap being a bit of a meme gun, but it got buffed a while ago to be actually somewhat viable. And those 5 alone, I think, are better than the KSR and the 99 SB. And the Archer, if you're harassing the Archer, that's on the Engineer, and that's more passive than anything in the game. So you're not gonna be farming kills with the Archer, unfortunately. Moving on. Verdict, don't really use this gun. M77. This is the tier 1 bolt action. So what I mean by tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, as you go up in tiers, your reload speed gets longer, your muzzle velocity gets higher, and your damage profile gets better, but your chamber time gets longer. I.e. your rate of fire gets slower. So as you can see, this thing chambers in 1.2 seconds, does 650 body shot, does 400 at 350. You will not one headshot kill at all ranges. I think you can't one headshot kill with any of them at all ranges. 550 meters a second muzzle velocity is pretty slow for sniper rifle. This is a actual sniper rifle. 2.8 and 4. 5 rounds in the magazine. Does not matter on hip. Does not matter on aim accuracy, really. So this thing has a straight pull bolt available to it, which is useful, and it's the only viable attachment you'll want to use. I recommend using a low power optic on this, either the default 6x, the 7x, or the 8x. Personally, I enjoy an 8x on my Rams, but then again, that also has significantly higher muzzle velocity and damage. So you might want to consider going with something lower like a 7. I don't recommend going 12 or 10 on pretty much any of the rifles unless you are going for some serious magnification, obviously, but I don't even think there's a viable range to this weapon to where you'd want to carry a 12x, because probably by the time you'd want a 12x, you're probably out of the one headshot kill range anyway. Sorry, my dog is chewing up something behind me. So, use this weapon to harass it. It's a default sniper rifle. It's a pretty average sniper rifle. We'll get to the SR7 in a second. That's slightly better in my opinion. The SR7 being the tier 2, and that's a pretty good jack of all trades one. Moving on to the Vandal, which I called a direct upgrade to the HSR1 for good reason. It has .75 like most NS weapons. You can run either forward grip and comp, or my personal favorite, the laser sight and 2x, which gives you pretty dank hip fire. And that's pretty strong, if I do say so myself, as you can see. Very nice hip fire. Or not hip fire. .75. Only problem this gun has, in my opinion, is that it has a pretty menacing sound profile. It is loud. It is extremely loud. And you may have problems with that. Jumping on over here. It does 280 minimum damage, which is pretty strong, meaning that it's pretty much always a 4 headshot kill. Oh god, she has the squeak toy. Alright, I got it. Sorry guys. And that's pretty useful. 520 meters a second is lower than the HSR1 though. But that's nothing you can't compensate for. Moving on to the... Oh, I said I was going to do all the Infiltrator weapons. Shit. Well, we got to backtrack a little bit because I skipped over the MGS1 Jackal. The Jackal is in my opinion, the least interesting of the 3 Empire-specific SMGs. However, it's not bad. It's just underwhelming. It is no way bad. Don't let anyone on Reddit tell you this thing's underpowered. The attachment sucks, in my opinion, because it sacrifices 9 bullets for a gimmick, which is this thing. But it's you know, don't run it. Just run the laser sight. Watch this. It's fucking incredible. Use this thing on heavy assault too. I think people are just upset because 600-167 is a pretty standard damage profile. It's nothing SMG-like. But other than that, this SMG is really controllable, and it really became my new favorite weapon for a while after it came out. Verdict: buy this gun. Oh, fuck off, hackable. So, why did I not turn this off? Oh my god, I'm still connected. Sorry about that. Buy this gun. Use the laser sight on it. MKV. I ran extended mags, soft points because it needs it, and then I ran a 2x actually on it, as crazy as it sounds, and it's very stable in my opinion. I would run a similar build personally on the PDW as well, since this is basically just a side grade to the PDW. 125 at 10, 91 at 42, 780 RPM, 330 meters a second velocity, integrated suppressor by the way, 2.6, 2.84 reload, standard SMG accuracy and shit. There's the MKV suppressed, MKVP suppressed. And here's the N7 PDW. Don't run anything, any barrel on the PDW. Just run the same thing. This thing is cat-like, yeah. Extended magazines, soft point ammunition will give you... It does 125 at 15. This will actually make it do 125 at 20, which is pretty useful. 400 meters a second velocity, 2.35, 2.6 reload speed, 30 bullets in the mag. Pretty standard aim and hip fire accuracy. I run a 2x, you can run a 1x, you can run whatever the fuck you want on this, really. It's honestly up to you. I would use this gun for the Iraq sim. It is pretty stable. I'd use the MKV as well for the Iraq sim too. Moving on to the Daimyo. The Daimyo is the newest sniper rifle edition that has low power from 4x all the way up to high power 12x. I would run a 4x on this and run this as a overcompensating battle rifle personally. Extended mags are good. Get that dank headshot. Murder everyone. But don't get body shots because it has a 225 damage shot, 175 min. But it has a crazy high headshot multiplier. I think it's like something like 4x headshot multiplier. No, that wouldn't be enough. It's like, oh fuck, what is it? It's got to be over 4x. I don't remember what it is. But it's pretty nuts. Just, you will not kill someone in one mag at all. Just by body shot heroing them. You won't even get through all their health bar. You'll barely get through the shields. Use this once you've learned how to master the other sniper rifles. It's got 600 meters a second velocity, so it's pretty good. I think it's slightly, what is it compared to the Rams? The Rams has 650. I think this is similar to the Tier 2 sniper rifle. So I'd use it eventually. You need to get a grip on sniper rifles before you can really take full advantage of this one, because if you miss the head, you are basically fucked. Moving on to the Tangu, it does 500, 200. It fires 4 pellets of 50 damage bullets, so it's 500, 200 weapon. With soft points, it does 200 at 11. It does 36 at min, which is 36 times 4, which I believe is, shit, it's like 125 or something like that, rounded. It's like 136. I don't remember. 380 meters a second, fairly decent for an SMG. Nothing to write home about. It's going to get slower with soft point. 1.8 and 2.5 reload speed, 20 bullets in the magazine. I would run hybrid laser. If extended mag increased your ammunition by 10 rounds, I might consider recommending it, but I cannot recommend that with only 4 bullets. Run the laser. The laser is very strong. It reduces your cone of fire and hip fire pellet spread. So basically it makes the shotgun aspect of this weapon more accurate, and it makes the hip fire more accurate. Don't run a suppressor, don't run a flash hider. Run a 1x and go to freaking town. It's got a little bit of a wonky model. This was one of the first NSX weapons that I actually kind of liked and thought was viable. I really fucking hated the Naginata when they released it. This thing I actually kind of enjoy using. It's pretty terrifying to see this, and especially when you're engaging someone with this. As you can see, the pellets, just seeing 4 bullets come out at the same time simultaneously can be kind of shocking at first, but just remember, it's this thing. This thing isn't anything to write home about, but it is pretty strong. It gets immensely more accurate, and all the bullets will go closer to each other when you ADS. But still, it is a shotgun style weapon, and you'll have issues with cone of fire. So recommendation, use it for the Kabuto helmet, but it's the only NSX weapon that's viable. I would not pick it up until once you have spare certs. The Tomo does 750, 112, but it does 750. It does 4 headshots no matter what range it's at. It never loses damage. That's the main one selling point of this weapon. I run a forward grip comp on this in 2x. However, you can choose extended mags if you want to, and you can also choose, well, pretty much a compensator. That's it. This thing is strong, but it has a very long scope reset speed, so watch this. As long as you can pull down on the mouse, you're good. And as long as you can hit the head, you're good. Because the body shot time to kill is almost twice as long. It's actually more than twice as long. Pretty atrocious hip fire. This doesn't count towards the Scout Rifle. It again counts towards the NSX series. Pretty average. I like this weapon. I'd recommend using it once you get used to hitting them heads, and nothing else. There's no other criteria to this weapon. 2.1 reload, 2.9 long, 520 meters a second velocity. good aim accuracy, bad hipfire accuracy, as expected from this style of weapon. Just don't expect to go on mass killing sprees initially with this gun, especially if you're kind of a noob. In fact, I wouldn't even run extended mags. Extended mags only gives you 2 rounds. I just remembered to mention that. It's got 22 rounds in the mag, and that's pretty much all you're ever going to need. Moving on to the Hailstorm, or as some people on Reddit like to call it, the Failstorm. I don't actually sometimes think this thing is a fail. I wish it was better. I think it could be better, but it is in no means bad. I raxed this one on Infiltrator, and I actually used a suppressor. I actually think this is one of the few weapons where a suppressor is viable, and this was the loadout that I used. What the oh my god, is it bugged? It's bugged. Well, that's interesting. It wasn't bugged when I was using it. I'll be sure to bug report that. But on this one, I actually recommend running, I'd recommend running the foregrip, and I would run no barrel or suppressor. And then the soft point is an obvious choice. There's very few situations where soft point doesn't help you. And 1x. And go to town with your 60 bullets and just murder everything. I don't want to sound like I'm screaming faction bias or, you know, anything like that, but unfortunately, in my opinion, I believe the other 2 Empire choices are slightly better. The other 2 do have 50 bullets, but they fire 845, 125, as opposed to this one, which fires 800, 125. Unfortunately, I don't think that's ever going to change. It's been many years since these weapons have been out, and they seem set in the belief that we should get lower DPS because we have more damage in the magazine, which that's fine. That's understandable. But does not change the fact that this weapon is not super competitive compared to those other 2. And there's not a whole lot they could do to really change that, I think. Unless they were to just straight up buff it to 845 and then remove some bullets. But other than that, it's not a bad gun. It's just not as competitive as the other 2 SMGs. The other 2 SMGs in the same generation are better, in my opinion. But you should have no problem dinking heads and killing people in 4 headshots if you get good with this weapon. Get out of here, ambient music. Rams 50. This is the big boy. 8x, in my opinion, is the meta for this one. I run a straight pull bolt. You can choose any optic you want, obviously, but 8x for me works the best. Wow, that's already off to a great start. I was moving. This weapon chambers in 1.5 seconds, does 700 damage at max, 400 at 400 meters. That's a long time before you get your min damage range, and before you cannot one headshot kill. 750 meters a second, 4.72 reload, and 5.5 long. There's not a huge difference between those 2 values, but again, still try to reload before you run out of bullets. 5 in the mag. Hipfire aim does not matter. It's perfect aim when you're standing still. That's all you gotta know. Use this weapon for the Iraxium. It's the strongest sniper rifle, and once I think my friend told me that once he Iraxed all of them, he just used the Rams 50 from now on, even after he Iraxed the Bighorn. So he definitely recommends this weapon. The Armistice, the very high rate of fire SMG available to the Terran Republic. 896, 125, basically 900 RPM. 370 meters a second, 2.92 reload long, 2.2 short, very fast short reload. And I'd recommend running extended mags so that you can get even more killing power out of this gun before you get a reload. Decent aim accuracy, decent hipfire accuracy for an SMG. Softies is a must. You can run a laser sight on this if you want to. I don't know why you'd run a grip. I think grip is only really viable on the Gen 2s. But extended mags is meta on this gun. Run a 1x, obviously, because this thing is not very high power. thing does 4 headshot kills up close, which are extremely fast and very merciless. This is definitely tied with the Cyclone for being the strongest SMG. People say that the Cyclone is the strongest. It is by a very slim margin now if you can triple dink people. But other than that, the thing has no redeemable qualities, in my opinion, over this that are anything more notable. And that might be a controversial opinion, I know, but the recent nerfs to it have made it so that it's not just a pseudo carbine anymore with no recoil. There actually is a bit of kick to it like this. And they've really brought in the range of the weapon. But again, the triple dink does have a little bit of sway over this gun, but other than that, it's not, you know, the end of the world. It's only slightly faster. It is definitely slightly more of a better choice, though. Very slightly. You're not missing out on much. Moving on to the SOAS. I'd use this, by the way. Use this. SOAS 20, I RX'd it with a 1x or a 3.4x. 652 RPM, 143 at 10, 125 at 60, 550 meters a second velocity, 2 seconds and 2.4 or 2.6 reload. Very, very strong. 24 bullets in the magazine. Pretty good hip fire, pretty good aim accuracy. Always going to be 4 headshots, which is nice. Now to show you that 3.4x. There it is. HDS is one I preferably use. And you can run this with either a compensator or a suppressor. As weird as that sounds, the suppressor actually kind of works on this weapon. But again, compensator is slightly better, and I like 3.4 and comp more. It got very easy to lead people once you got used to it. You do have to do this one for the Scout Rifle Directive, which gives you the DMR 99, so use it. Get used to it, unfortunately. 652, 143 isn't a great damage profile, but still it's better than, you know, doing something worse. And it's okay. I wouldn't use this past Araxium personally. It's nothing really good, honestly. Let me just double check, make sure I've done all the ones up to now. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, I did these. These are variants. Yes, variants. Yes, variants. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. SR7 is the tier 2. It has 8 bullets. It got buffed recently. I don't know how many months ago. It now has 8 bullets in that magazine, so it isn't just this weird middle ground child. It actually is pretty nice. Chambers in 1.4, 600 meters a second, so lower than the Rams 50, but higher than the M77. 650 at 10 is, I think, tied. No, it's not. It's not tied with the Rams. The Rams is 700. My bad. It is a good middle ground, though. 4.7 long, 3.1 short. Get that short reload on this gun. Holy shit. Aim and hip don't matter. You are perfectly accurate when standing still. Run an 8x and straight pull bolt on this one. I should note that with all the sniper rifles, you are going to want to run Enhanced Targeting 5, which I believe is now the new Deep Lung or whatever it used to be called. Where is it? Target Focus. You see, increases hold breath duration by 300%. So. And any second now. You can hold it for about 10 seconds solid, which is much more useful than the smokers along like 2 seconds you can hold it otherwise or whatever. It's pretty bad. Use this gun for the Araxium. Shuriken. The Shuriken is a very, in my opinion, stupid Armistice, as you can see. I don't like it. I don't like what they did with it. They made it so it has better damage fall off at the expense of a shittier 4 headshot kill zone. And since it has no attachments, it's only going to do 125 at 4. That's my dog playing, by the way. Why the fuck would I want this? When I can get 125 at 11 meters, why would I want 125 at 4 meters? It's got 40 rounds, you know, it at least has extended mags. And it reloads slower. It just does everything worse, in my opinion. Everything that matters on an SMG, it just does fucking worse. It's like, why use this gun? I think someone found somewhere that the recoil values are slightly better, but why? Why would you care about better recoil values on an SMG when the ranges you're going to be choosing an SMG at are like super close? Unfortunately, the Shuriken is not a weird, wonky, stupid side grade that it wants to be. It once used to be, because they changed it. This thing's a fucking direct downgrade. Don't fucking use this. Get it for the directive points, but hold on to it until they change it. World, please. This sucks. I hate the Shuriken. I'm sad it was what it has become. The trap, i.e. the not sniper rifle of the Terran Republic. But that does not mean it's bad anymore, because holy fuck, they finally got rid of the wonky 1x. I remember reading on Reddit, someone was like, bring back the 1x on the trap, it gave me more versatility, and I kind of died on the inside laughing because it was so dumb. The suppressor on this isn't horrible because, you are going to do 3 headshot kill at all ranges, and you get 600 meters a second velocity. It's not a terrible choice. I just don't think you need it, honestly. You can one burst headshot anyone at any range, assuming you can hit all the heads. A follow-up burst is sometimes useful, and there goes my Sundeep. Awesome. So I'll do the last one at the VR center. I only think there's one more. The SAR-42, yes, but that'll make sense for me to go back there anyway. It's fine. I think there's slightly better recoil characteristics on the 2X, just since you have the first shot recoil multiplier and then the extra recoil. I think the first shot recoil on this weapon isn't that bad. I think the third shot gets pretty bad though. So 2-shot mode has some viability if you want to use it, but there's no reason not to ever turn off 3X in my opinion. And I think that's what matters. And last but not least, we have the SAR-42. I'd use this for the Iraxian, by the way. It's not horrible. It's a big scout rifle. This is the, whatchamacallit, I think this is the tier 1 bolt action that has no scope. Actually, no, I think it's a mix. Yeah, it's got the damage profile of the Rams with worse fall off, but it chambers in 1.1 and does 500 meters a second velocity. Sorry, so this is something completely different. Sorry, it's been a while since I've looked at it. Reloads in 2.8 and 4. 500 meters a second velocity, 700 at 10, 400 at 265. Again, if you're standing still, perfect aim accuracy and shit. There's a lot of quickscoping montages out there, and they're either using this, the Ghost, or the SAS-R, which are the Empire equivalents. They're all identical. And this thing's pretty nasty if you learn how to use it. It takes a bit of practice. It takes a lot of practice, actually. And I've only seen pros pull it off with consistency. I've tried it before, and I've gotten some consistency with it, but nothing to where I could consider myself reliable with this weapon. So, sorry this one was a little longer, and sorry this was a slightly more wonky, unorganized video. I completely forgot about that at first, and my dog has been running around me. But, I hope this has been concise and short and sweet. So, bye.